Let's talk now about experience. Experience is a double-edged sword.
Yeah.
The world is changing so quickly that if we do what's always been done, it's not going to work. At the same time, we need to be informed by it to leverage our experience into the future.
Yeah.
Walk through how you train people to understand the experience that they have and apply it to new concepts, new constructs that are going to be different in this fast-paced world.
Yeah, there was a study on decision making years ago, and what they said was most of us satisfice, not optimize. Optimize means you get all the data in the world that available to you. You look at potential courses of action, you see which one is best, you choose that, you optimize and execute. And for very deliberate decision-making processes, that's what people do. But if, for example, you and I are here and we hear that the building's on fire, you would not say, okay, let me gather information on that. What are my 3 courses of action, or and then pick the best one. What you do is you have the equivalent of a Rolodex or a database, and it starts to go through your brain really quickly. And you hit the first one that satisfies or seems like it's got a reasonable probability of working, you go and you execute. And so we always said that experience gives people bigger Rolodexes. They've seen more stuff. They can go through there and they can say, yep, this is kind of similar to what I saw before. Therefore, looks like that I can execute off of that. I think that's basically accurate. Our danger is what we're trying to do is create a series of templates for dealing with general situations, but not trying to make them specific. Not trying to take this Rolodex to produce a template for this and says, last time I did this, therefore that's the right answer, and that's what I'm going to do. Because it's never exactly right, because the conditions are different. Instead, what we want to create in people is this experience of dealing with problems, dealing with hairy problems that they didn't know how to deal with. And so you want to put people in as many jobs, as many situations as you can, where they didn't have the directions on a piece of paper. They couldn't pull it out and say, okay, step 1, step 10. What you really want them to do is in a situation, but they've been in that kind of situation enough times, you go, you got to do something, you don't have directions for it. How do I think about it? How do I gather information, how to make a quick decision and execute? Those become the most effective decision makers in my view. So that experience, the idea that if we want somebody to be a candle maker, that we want them to have made candles for 40 years, there's some value in that. But candles may be different next year than they are for the last 40 years. So you've got to balance that experience with the idea that this person's done a bunch of other stuff, all of which will increase their flexibility, the open-minded way in which they approach candles in the 21st century or whatever.